Dr. Amanda Blackwood stared at the quantum oscillation patterns dancing across her holographic display, her coffee long forgotten and stone-cold beside her keyboard. Behind her, the massive quantum array hummed its usual melody, except tonight, something in its harmonics was different. Wrong. Or perhaps, she thought with a bitter smile, she'd finally lost her mind after 15 years of searching for patterns that her colleagues insisted didn't exist. Final warning. Dr. Blackwood, the facility's AI chimed overhead. Authorization expires in 30 minutes. Please prepare for shutdown procedures. She ignored it, focusing instead on the anomalous reading that had appeared exactly 17 minutes ago. The pattern resembled a crystalline structure, but one that seemed to fold in on itself through dimensions that shouldn't exist. It was beautiful, complex, and absolutely impossible according to every physics textbook ever written. "Come on," she whispered, fingers flying across the haptic interface. "Show me what you are." The signal's strength fluctuated, and for a moment, Amanda felt something she'd never experienced before, a sensation of profound loneliness that wasn't her own. The quantum computers processing the data sparked, their coolant systems whining as calculations spiraled into unprecedented complexity. Dr. Blackwood, a human voice this time, sharp with annoyance. Dr. Harrison, her former mentor and current executioner, spoke through the intercom. "The board's decision is final. Pack up your equipment and leave the facility." Amanda's jaw clenched. After tomorrow, her theories about quantum consciousness in space would be officially labeled as fringe science. Her funding would be redirected to more promising projects. 15 years of research, destroyed by bureaucrats who couldn't see past their own dimensional limitations. But this signal, this impossible, beautiful signal, it wasn't aimed at Earth. Earth just happened to be in its path, like standing in the spray of a conversation between giants. "Amanda," Harrison again, "the array isn't your personal playground. Shut it down, or security will do it for you." Her fingers hesitated over the shutdown sequence. The responsible thing would be to log the anomaly and submit it for peer review. Let someone else investigate, someone whose career wasn't already in shambles. The signal pulsed again, and this time the sensation was unmistakable. Longing. Fear. A child's cry in the darkness between stars. "To hell with it," Amanda muttered, and instead of shutting down the array, she diverted power from the facility's secondary systems to boost the quantum receivers. The lights dimmed as she rerouted emergency power, breaking at least a dozen federal regulations in the process. The signal crystallized. Every quantum computer in the facility activated simultaneously, their processing cores glowing like miniature stars as they tried to contain the incoming data. The holographic display exploded with information, not just data, but something else. Emotions given mathematical form, memories encoded in quantum states. Security alarms blared. In the distance, she heard boots on metal stairs. "My God," Amanda breathed, watching as the signal resolved into patterns that resembled neural pathways, but stretched across dimensional barriers she hadn't known existed until this moment. "You're not a signal at all, are you? You're a thought, a memory." The security team burst through the door just as the facility's power grid overloaded. In the sudden darkness, illuminated only by the quantum core's ethereal glow, Amanda's display showed one final image. Earth, seen from an impossible angle, watched by something vast and ancient and impossibly young at the same time. "Dr. Blackwood, step away from the console." Amanda didn't move. Her career was over anyway. Might as well burn the last bridge spectacularly. She activated her personal quantum drive's backup system and started downloading everything. As security dragged her away from the console, she caught a glimpse of her final readings. The signal wasn't just passing by Earth. It was coming from Earth itself, transmitted outward by something that had been here all along, something that had finally figured out how to phone home. And now, thanks to her career suicide, she was the only one who knew about it. Marcus Webb sat in the dark of his basement lab, surrounded by monitors cobbled together from salvaged tech. The only illumination came from his screens and the soft blue glow of his homemade quantum receiver, a device that had earned him endless mockery on tech forums until 12 hours ago. Now his inbox was flooded with messages from those same critics, all demanding to know how he built it. "Not happening," he muttered, fingers dancing across 3 keyboards simultaneously. The signal that had lit up every quantum sensor on Earth last night was still reverberating through his equipment, leaving patterns that made his mind buzz with recognition. His chat channel pinged. Another message from Dr. Blackwood. "AV, the whole scientific community is looking at this wrong. They're treating it like a conventional transmission." Marcus nodded to himself. He'd reached the same conclusion hours ago, but trying to explain it made his thoughts scatter. Instead of responding with words, he sent her a block of code, his attempt to visualize the signal structure. "AB, my God, that looks like MW, neural mapping, but wrong, different, better." He'd spent years studying neural networks, fascinated by how his own neurodivergent brain processed information differently than others. This signal, it processed everything differently too. Not better or worse, just alien. "AB, can you explain?" Marcus grimaced. Explaining was always the hard part. He took a deep breath and typed, "MW. Human brains equals linear processing with quantum elements. This signal equals quantum processing with linear elements. Mirror image. Like childhood development in reverse." His screens flickered as another pulse of the signal washed through his equipment. The pattern recognition algorithms he'd written started spitting out results that made his heart race. He wasn't just seeing neural patterns, he was seeing memories. Alien memories, encoded in quantum states. "MW, look." He sent Dr. Blackwood his latest visualization. The response was immediate. "AV, those are DNA sequences, but the structure, impossible. Unless, MW, unless you're watching evolution happen from outside time." His fingers trembled as he typed the next part. "MW, Dr. Blackwood, think I know why your quantum consciousness theory got rejected. Wasn't wrong. Was too right. Dangerous right." The silence stretched for almost a minute before she responded. "ADV, my lab. 1 hour. Bring everything." Marcus hesitated. He hadn't left his basement in 3 days, and the thought of going outside made his skin crawl. But this was bigger than his comfort zone. He began backing up his data, but halfway through, his screens went black. Every device in his lab died simultaneously. When they rebooted, a new message filled his main screen. QUERI. Receiving/processing signal Alpha 7X TO and FIRM Nimural Compata Baility. Marcus's heart pounded. This wasn't from Dr. Blackwood. The text had that peculiar quantum shimmer he'd only seen in the original signal. His fingers moved before he could stop them. "MW. Compatibility confirmed. Processing. QUERI. Neural pattern recognition. Exceptional. Requesting translation assistance." The air in his basement lab seemed to thicken, becoming syrupy with potential energy. Every screen in his lab began displaying the same pattern, a double helix of light that folded through dimensions his eyes couldn't quite process. "MW. Who are you?" "RESPONSE. Lost. Searching. Home different to know. Help." Marcus's hands shook as he typed his response. "MW. Yes. Help. But need to understand." His quantum receiver whined, its makeshift containment systems straining as new data poured in. On his screens, human history began playing backwards, but from angles that shouldn't exist, through eyes that had watched humanity's every evolutionary step. Marcus grabbed his phone, nearly dropping it in his excitement. "MW. Dr. Blackwood. Change of plans. Coming now. Bringing proof. A.B. Proof of what? He stared at the impossible images flooding his screens, at the quantum code that sang with loneliness and hope, and typed, MW. Everything. Proof of everything. Dr. Amanda Blackwood's makeshift lab, in an abandoned quantum computing facility, hummed with stolen power as she stared at Marcus's decoded footage. The images made her head hurt. Prehistoric Earth viewed from impossible angles, through what seemed like dozens of dimensions at once. There, Marcus pointed at a sequence showing early hominids, his hand trembling with excitement. Watch their neural patterns. The footage showed their ancestors' brains lighting up with new connections, but the perspective kept shifting. Sometimes they were viewing the scenes from above, sometimes from inside the neurons themselves, and sometimes from angles that human minds weren't meant to process. They're not just observations, Amanda breathed. They're memories, personal memories. Marcus nodded frantically, his fingers tapping a complex rhythm on the desk. Watching, learning, breaking rules. He pulled up another sequence of code. Look at timestamp signatures, quantum date markers. Millions of years, same observer, young observer. A child, Amanda whispered, remembering the emotional resonance in the original signal. A child of what, though? The answer came in a surge of power that made every screen in the lab flicker. New data poured in, showing vast beings of pure quantum consciousness, existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. They moved through space-time like humans walk through air, observing, cataloging, understanding. Cosmic shepherds, Marcus muttered, his eyes wide. Watching everything. All planets. All life. All evolution. He paused, his expression darkening. But this one got too close. The footage shifted to show early Earth, but now they could see the observer's presence, a shimmer in reality, a fold in dimensions that followed the early humans, not just watching anymore, but reaching out, touching their quantum consciousness in ways that violated every protocol the beings seemed to have. It was an accident at first, Amanda said, watching the patterns unfold. The young one was curious, reached out to touch their minds, and something connected. Marcus's hands flew across his keyboard, correlating data points. Major evolutionary leaps. All coincide with observer attempts to communicate home. Quantum entanglement. Human consciousness got caught in signal attempts. A new transmission cut through their systems, stronger than before. Clarify. HFY. Mistakes made. Isolation resulted. Growth continued. Amanda leaned forward. You're still here, aren't you? You've been here all along, trying to reach home. Affirmative. Trapped in dimensional space, human minds provided ancestors, unexpected evolution, occurred. But why come forward now? Amanda asked. After millions of years of silence. The response came not in words, but in a cascade of quantum data that made Marcus gasp. He translated it quickly, his expression growing more alarmed with each line. Others coming, he said. Parent entity detected signal. Coming to extract. He looked up, face pale. But extraction will undo everything. Everything. Amanda felt cold dread settling in her stomach. Marcus pulled up a simulation. Quantum entanglement goes deep. Million years deep. Extract observer. Extract the quantum consciousness elements they accidentally shared. Human intelligence, creativity, our ability to think in abstract ways. He swallowed hard. All goes with them. They can't just undo human evolution. Amanda protested. Correction. Can undo? Must undo? Protocols clear. The lab's lights flickered again, but this time it wasn't from their systems. Through the high windows, they could see the night sky changing color, taking on impossible hues as something vast began to materialize in Earth's orbit. Parents here, Marcus whispered. Amanda grabbed his arm. How long? Hours, maybe less. She stared at the ancient footage still playing across their screens, millions of years of a cosmic child's curiosity inadvertently lifting humanity from simple tool users to beings on the brink of quantum consciousness themselves. "We need to tell everyone," she said, "not just the scientists. Everyone needs to know what we're about to lose. They'll never believe us." Amanda watched as the sky continued to shift, reality itself seeming to bend around the arrival of something ancient and vast, and utterly beyond human comprehension. They're about to. The world was ending in PowerPoint presentations. Amanda stood at the back of the United Nations emergency session, watching as the world's leading scientists tried to explain multidimensional quantum consciousness to a room full of terrified officials. Above them, through the reinforced glass ceiling, the sky rippled with colors that shouldn't exist. "The entity's influence is woven into our very evolution," Dr. Harrison, her former mentor, explained to the assembly. "Every major cognitive leap our species made was an echo of its attempts to reach home." Marcus sat cross-legged in the corner, surrounded by quantum tablets, his fingers never stopping their dance across multiple keyboards. He hadn't spoken to anyone but her for hours, too focused on decoding the increasing flood of data as the parent entity drew closer. "Tell them," he whispered, not looking up. "Tell them what we found." Amanda stepped forward, her heart pounding. "There's more," she announced, her voice cutting through the panicked murmurs. "The quantum entanglement isn't just historic. It's active. Right now. In all of us." The room fell silent as she brought up her own presentation. Not charts and graphs, but real-time neural scans. "This is a human brain on its own." She pointed to the first image. "And this," she swiped to the next, "is what happens when we process complex abstract thoughts." The difference was stunning. The second scan showed impossible quantum connections, bridges between neurons that shouldn't exist in three-dimensional space. "We're not just descended from humans who were influenced by the entity," she continued. "We're actively using quantum neural pathways it created. Right now, with every creative thought, every intuitive leap, every moment of human inspiration, we're thinking in multiple dimensions." "Impossible," someone shouted. Marcus spoke up suddenly, his voice clear despite his eyes never leaving his screens. "Prove it. Everyone. Close your eyes. Think about thinking. Feel the edges." To Amanda's surprise, people obeyed. The room fell silent except for the hum of electronics and the strange, high-pitched whine that had been growing stronger as the parent entity approached. "Feel it?" she asked softly. "That sensation at the edge of your thoughts. The space between ideas. That's not supposed to be there. That's quantum consciousness. That's their gift." The room erupted in chaos as people opened their eyes, many looking shaken. Amanda could see the moment they realized she was right. Humans weren't supposed to be able to feel the quantum layer of their own thoughts, but now that it had been pointed out, they couldn't unfeel it. Marcus's screen suddenly flashed red. "Incoming." The entity's voice filled every electronic device in the building. "Evaluation complete. Containment protocol as INITIET. Extraction begins in 6 hours." Amanda grabbed the podium. "You don't understand what you'll do to us." "Understanding complete. Human species will survive. Will return to proper evolutionary path." "Proper?" Amanda felt anger rising. "You mean limited. Contained. Safe." Marcus's hands finally stilled. He looked up, his eyes wide with realization. "Dr. Blackwood, the signal. It's not just the child calling home." "What do you mean?" He pulled up a new analysis, his fingers trembling with excitement. "Child trying to warn parent. About us. About what we've become." His screens filled with data. "We're not just using the quantum pathways anymore. We're building new ones. Growing. Evolving. Still." Amanda stared at the data, her scientific mind racing ahead to the implications. We're not just recipients of quantum consciousness anymore. We're becoming native quantum thinkers ourselves. Impossible. Biological entities cannot HEVQUANTUM conscious in ESS naturally. Watch us, Amanda whispered. She turned back to the assembly. We have 6 hours. 6 hours to prove that humanity isn't just a mistake to be corrected. 6 hours to show that we're not just using their gift. We're becoming something entirely new. Marcus stood up, already spreading. Quantum internet channels. People connecting. Thinking together. Getting stronger. Through the glass ceiling, the impossible colors began to swirl faster, like a storm of broken dimensions bearing down on Earth. But for the first time since this began, Amanda smiled. Because humans had just been told they couldn't do something. And if there was one constant in human evolution, it was proving the impossible wrong. 5 hours remained until extraction, and Amanda's nose was bleeding again. The quantum resonance from the parent entity had grown so strong that sensitive humans were beginning to experience physical symptoms. She wiped the blood away, focusing on the ethereal display of global consciousness that Marcus had somehow managed to visualize. Look at the patterns, he said, his own eyes rimmed with red from the strain. Humans, all humans, starting to think, together. The display showed webs of quantum connection, spreading across the globe like neural lightning. Millions of minds were unconsciously reaching out, forming connections that shouldn't be possible for biological beings. The parent entity's presence was acting like a catalyst, pushing human consciousness to evolve at an unprecedented rate. Final warning, the entity's message reverberated through every electronic device worldwide. Extraction will DMAGQUANTUM in URL PHA. Survival guaranteed. But REDUCTION in Q-Ognite capability UNAVOIDABL. Amanda pressed her hands against her temples, trying to think through the growing pressure. Why? She demanded. Why is this so important to your kind? The response came in a burst of quantum data that made Marcus's equipment spark. Valency must be maintained. Biological beings, Purojurius through physical evolution. Quantum beings Purojurius through dimensional evolution. Mixing forbidden. Dangerous. But it's already mixed. Marcus interrupted, his fingers flying across keyboards. Can't unmix. Look. He pulled up brain scans from around the world. The quantum neural pathways weren't just additions to human consciousness anymore. They had become fundamental to how human minds worked. Removing them would be like removing the foundation from a building. Your child didn't just influence our evolution, Amanda argued. They became part of it. Part of us. Precisely the danger, came the response. Containment pyrotociolas etexist for liaison. Last species to achieve human evolution evolution. The data stream cut off abruptly. What? Amanda leaned forward. What happened to them? Before the entity could respond, Marcus let out a gasp. Dr. Blackwood. The child. It's trying to communicate directly. A new signal cut through the quantum noise, weaker but somehow more familiar. Sorry. So sorry. DDGNT me and tu shikaNG EVERTing. But humans. Different. Special. Learned from them. While they learned from me. Evolved together. Amanda felt tears in her eyes, but she wasn't sure if they were from emotion or the growing quantum pressure. You're as much human as you are cosmic now, aren't you? Yes, and humans now part cosmic. Can't be separated. Shesho ULD and to be separated. The parent entity's presence intensified, making every piece of electronic equipment in the room screech. COIC must be made. Extraction procedures in 3 HOURs, alternatives. Suddenly, Amanda doubled over as something like electricity shot through her brain. Marcus caught her before she fell, his own face contorted in pain. "The connection," he gasped. "Stronger in some humans. You, strongest I've seen." Direct neural link. Amanda could feel it now. A direct line to both the cosmic child and its parent, burning through her consciousness like a wire carrying too much current. Through that connection, she finally understood the full scope of their situation. "They're not just afraid of what their child did to us," she whispered. "They're afraid of what we might become. What we're already becoming." Marcus nodded frantically. Human consciousness plus quantum evolution. Whole new path. Unprecedented. Dangerous. He paused, his eyes widening. Beautiful. Through her quantum connection, Amanda felt the parent entity's struggle. Its mandate was clear: protect the universe from unauthorized evolutionary leaps. But its child had not only broken that rule, it had created something entirely new in the process. "We have to make a choice," Amanda said, her voice shaking. "Either we accept the extraction and return to our original evolutionary path, or," Marcus asked. Amanda looked up at the swirling dimensional storm above them, then at the displays showing humanity's quantum consciousness spreading and growing stronger by the minute. "Or we try something that's never been done before." She wiped more blood from her nose. "We show them we're ready to take the next step. All of us. Together." The choice hung in the air between dimensions, while above them, reality itself held its breath. Inside the quantum-shielded UN chamber, Amanda watched as global leaders sat in unprecedented silence, their minds processing what Marcus's latest data had revealed. On the main screen, his visualization showed human consciousness evolving in real time, not just using quantum pathways anymore, but actively building new ones. "Not just changing," Marcus explained, his voice stronger now that he found his purpose. "Creating new neural architecture. Look." The display shifted to show a three-dimensional map of global thought patterns. Billions of human minds were unconsciously reaching out, forming connections that transcended physical space. Like neurons in a vast planetary brain, humanity was beginning to think as one entity, yet each individual consciousness remained distinct, unique. "This is impossible," the Chinese quantum physicist, Dr. Liu, whispered. "Beautiful, but impossible." "That's the point," Amanda said, stepping forward despite her pounding head. "We're doing the impossible. We're not just using quantum pathways anymore. We're innovating them, creating new forms of consciousness that neither humans nor cosmic beings imagined possible." "Dangerous," the parent entity's message thundered. "Uncontrolled evolution." Marcus looked up from his screens. "No, not uncontrolled. Different. New. Better." His fingers flew across the keyboards as he pulled up more data. "Look, not chaos. Pattern. Purpose." The display shifted again, showing how the new quantum pathways weren't random. They were forming intricate, purposeful structures, like a blueprint for a new kind of existence. Amanda felt something shift in her quantum connection to the cosmic beings. Understanding. Interest. Fear. Your child didn't just make a mistake, she addressed the parent entity. They discovered something. Through us, they found a third path, not purely biological, not purely quantum, but a perfect synthesis of both. "CENTHESIS, UNPRECEDNT," came the response. "Risks incalculable." "Calculate this," Marcus interrupted. He activated every screen in the chamber, showing a live feed of human achievement throughout history. Art, music, literature, scientific breakthroughs, philosophical insights, quantum consciousness plus human creativity. Not a mistake. Next step. Natural step. Amanda felt the parent entity's attention focus, sharp and intense. Through their connection, she sensed not just fear now, but curiosity. the same curiosity that had led its child to reach out to humanity in the first place. "We have a proposal," she announced, her voice carrying the weight of every human mind currently linked through the growing quantum network. "Instead of extracting the quantum consciousness, help us complete the integration." The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. This wasn't the defensive strategy they planned. This was something else entirely. "Integration impossible at planetary scale," the entity responded. Would require exactly what's already happening," Amanda interrupted. She gestured to Marcus's displays, where the global quantum network was growing stronger by the second. "Your presence, your child's call home. It's acting as a catalyst. Humanity isn't just ready for the next step. We're taking it. Right now." Marcus's screen suddenly flashed with new data. Connection growing. Exponential rate. All humans, all minds. He looked up, his eyes wide. "We're becoming quantum native." Through the quantum link, Amanda felt the cosmic child's joy, its parents' astonishment, and something else, a sense of possibility that transcended both human and cosmic understanding. "Help us," she pleaded with the parent entity. "Not to go back, but to go forward. Your child showed us a path we never knew existed. Now show us how to walk it." The quantum storm above the Earth intensified, colors that shouldn't exist bleeding through dimensions that shouldn't touch. 1 hour remained until the scheduled extraction, but Amanda could feel the parent entity's certainty wavering. "Turopozalunprecedentd," it finally responded. "Recuguiriscoguanisualtation." "No time," Marcus said, his voice urgent as he pointed to his displays. "Look, already happening. Can't stop it. Can only guide it." Amanda stood straighter, despite the blood now trickling freely from her nose. "You can either help us evolve safely," she declared, "or watch as we do it anyway, without guidance, without control, and without any idea of what we might become." The quantum storm paused, and for a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then came the response that would change everything. "Turopozal. Accepted. Beginning integration protocols." The integration began with a scream. Not a human scream, something deeper, fundamental, like reality itself crying out as dimensions began to fold into each other. Every electronic device on Earth activated simultaneously, displays showing impossible colors as quantum consciousness began to flood through the global network Marcus had discovered. "Hold on," Amanda shouted over the dimensional noise, her body radiating blue quantum fire as she served as the primary conduit. Through her enhanced connection, she could feel billions of human minds lighting up like stars, each one beginning to perceive reality through more than 3 dimensions. Marcus worked frantically at his station, blood streaming from his ears as he fought to stabilize the quantum cascade. "Too fast," he called out. "Human minds, not ready for full access." "Attempting modulation," the parent entity transmitted. But even its vast consciousness seemed strained by the magnitude of what was happening. Around the world, humans began experiencing their first taste of quantum awareness. Children solved impossible mathematical equations in their sleep. Coma patients woke up speaking in quantum algorithms. Artists created paintings that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "The barriers are breaking down," Dr. Liu shouted from her monitoring station. "Quantum consciousness is integrating with human neural networks at an exponential rate." Amanda felt it all through her connection, every mind on Earth opening like flowers to impossible sunlight. But the strain was killing her. Her consciousness stretched across dimensions it was never meant to touch, trying to serve as a bridge between human and cosmic understanding. "Dr. Blackwood." Marcus's voice seemed to come from very far away. "Your neural patterns, dissolving." She could feel it. Her individual consciousness was spreading too thin, trying to process too much quantum data. But someone had to serve as the anchor point, the stabilizing force as humanity took its first steps into a larger existence. Through the quantum link, the cosmic child reached out. No, not alone. Together, the young entity's consciousness merged with hers, helping to carry the load. Amanda felt her awareness expand exponentially as the child shared its understanding of quantum existence. Not just theory anymore, direct, visceral knowledge of how to exist in multiple dimensions. "Marcus," she gasped, "initiate the feedback loop." His fingers flew across quantum-enhanced keyboards, implementing the impossible program they'd designed in those last desperate hours. Around the world, human consciousness began to synchronize, not into a hive mind, but into a quantum network of distinct but connected individuals. The parent entity's presence shifted, its vast awareness focusing on the unprecedented transformation below. Remarkable, it transmitted. Dangerous, but remarkable. Reality rippled as the merge reached its peak. Through her expanded awareness, Amanda could see everything. Every human mind lighting up with quantum fire, every consciousness beginning to grasp its place in a much larger universe. The strain was immense, threatening to tear apart both physical and quantum structures. "Can't hold it," she whispered. Then Marcus did something unexpected. He reached out and took her hand. The simple human gesture created a new kind of circuit. Through their touch, through their shared understanding of both human and quantum existence, they found a way to balance the equation. Physical and quantum, individual and collective, science and intuition, all flowing together in perfect harmony. Stabilization, HFY, the parent entity announced. Around the world, the chaos began to settle. Humans opened their eyes to a changed universe, one where quantum consciousness was as natural as breathing, where thought could bridge any distance, where reality itself was a canvas for human creativity and cosmic understanding. The cosmic child's joy radiated through every quantum pathway. CES, evolution complete. New kind of existence, HFY. Amanda felt her awareness settle back into something manageable, though forever changed. She could still sense every human mind on Earth, could feel them exploring their new capabilities with wonder and determination. But now it felt natural, like a new sense they'd always been meant to develop. Marcus squeezed her hand, his eyes filled with tears of joy and quantum light. "Did it," he whispered. "Actually did it." Through their enhanced awareness, they could feel the parent entity's final assessment washing over Earth like a wave of understanding. Humanity, HFY Sci-Fi, no longer simply biology. No longer simply quantum, something, something unprecedented. The universe, they could now sense, would never be the same. And neither would they. 1 month after the merge, Amanda stood at the edge of the Quantum Embassy's observation deck, watching construction drones weave impossible architecture through multiple dimensions. The building, like humanity itself, existed simultaneously in physical and quantum space, a testament to what they'd become. Neural pathway mapping complete, Marcus called from his new workstation, which floated in a quantum field rather than resting on anything as mundane as a desk. "Want to see something beautiful?" Amanda smiled, reaching out with her quantum-enhanced consciousness to connect with his display. The data showed humanity's new neural network, billions of minds linked across quantum space while maintaining their individual identities. It looked like a constellation made of thoughts, each point of light representing a human consciousness exploring its new capabilities. "The children are adapting fastest," she noted, watching bright flares of activity from schools around the world. "They're already thinking in 5 dimensions without effort." 6 dimensions in some cases, Marcus corrected, his fingers dancing through holographic data. The quantum kindergarten in Singapore just invented a new form of mathematics. Works only in quantum space, but, he grinned, it's beautiful. Through their enhanced awareness, they felt the cosmic child's presence, no longer trapped, but choosing to stay, to help guide humanity through its transformation. Its parent had departed for the greater universe, but not before establishing the protocols that would make Earth the first cross-dimensional embassy in known space. Progress exceeds projections, the young entity transmitted, its thoughts now as clear as spoken words. Humanity, achieving quantum, milestones, centuries ahead of estimated timeline. We had a good teacher, Amanda replied, thinking of how the entity's accidental influence had prepared humanity for this leap. Though I don't think anyone expected the art. She gestured to the quantum gallery below, where human artists were creating works that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Sculptures that changed their entire history when viewed from different quantum angles. Music that could only be fully heard by minds operating on both physical and quantum frequencies. Marcus pulled up another display, this one showing the first quantum space expedition preparations. Testing starts next week, he said. Human consciousness operating in quantum space. No physical vessels needed. Pure thought exploration. Are you going? Amanda asked, though she already knew the answer through their shared quantum connection. He nodded, his excitement pulsing through the quantum network. First neurodivergent quantum explorer, going to map consciousness paths through 11-dimensional space. His fingers tapped a rapid pattern on the quantum field. Maybe find others like us. Other merged species. Others exist, the cosmic child confirmed. Waiting. Evaluating. Amanda understood. Humanity's successful merge had changed more than just Earth. They'd proven that evolution didn't have to follow the old rules, that consciousness could bridge the gap between physical and quantum existence. Through their enhanced awareness, they felt the first quantum signals from Mars colony, where human consciousness was already adapting to exist in the thin atmosphere and harsh conditions. Soon, they wouldn't need physical shelters at all. We should tell them, Marcus said suddenly, pulling up the neural activity maps again. Show them what I found in the deep quantum scans. Amanda smiled. She'd already seen it through their connection. The evidence that humanity's transformation hadn't been entirely accidental. The cosmic child's influence had activated something that was already there, waiting in human DNA like a quantum time bomb set by evolution itself. Let them figure it out for themselves, she said. That's what we do best, isn't it? Finding our own way, even when the universe says it's impossible. Truth, the cosmic child transmitted, its consciousness resonating with pride. Humanity's greatest gift, making impossible possible. Below them, the quantum embassy shimmered as new architects added layers that existed only in higher dimensions. Around the world, billions of human minds reached out across quantum space, each one exploring, creating, becoming something more than anyone had dreamed possible. And somewhere in the vast universe, other cosmic entities watched as humanity took its first steps into a larger reality, not as conquerors or casualties, but as pioneers of a new kind of existence. Ready for tomorrow's Quantum Council meeting? Marcus asked. The Andromedans are sending their first delegation. Amanda reached out with her consciousness, feeling the infinite possibilities that stretched before them. Ready, she said. Let's show them what humanity can really do. The future, in all its quantum glory, beckoned.